A unhappy AEW star has referred to poor treatment by the company itself. We also have an injury update following Survivor Series WarGames, and Mercedes Mone has given her thoughts on her recent AEW pay-per-view match. It's all in the wrestling news. Hello everybody, Jack and Ross back again with more wrestling news. We're going to start by talking about Rey Fenix, or Rey Fenix, as I think we're meant to say.
Yes, we are. That's his name,
better pronunciation, yeah. He's been, well, we talked about his brother and tag team partner Penta in the last video, who now is finally out of contract with AEW and turned up back in AAA. Fenix is still there.
Fenix is still there.
And he doesn't seem too happy about it.
Yeah, there are contractual issues going on. There's been all sorts going on over social media over the weekend there. Rey Fenix tweeting out that it was inhumane, the treatment he's been receiving by AEW. What that is, we don't know, but it looks like there's a little bit of an inkling as to what that could be.
He was careful not to specify AEW in that tweet, but if we read between the lines, come on. Yeah, his tweet word for word said, "No one stays in a place where they received inhumane treatment." Then a tweet by Dr. Chris Featherston of Sportskeeda revealed the following. There's a real story behind the situation with Rey Fenix, which is a, quote, huge injustice. Apparently this is not linked to previous reports of Tony Khan finding out the Lucha Bros were in talks with WWE, which is said to be a fake excuse, but there's a real story behind all these contractual difficulties. And Featherston also says the Lucha Bros are expected to talk in depth about the situation when they can, and it'll be ugly.
It's just a shame. It's just a shame, innit? You know, we had all the troubles backstage of AEW a couple of years ago. In the period of time since then, it all seemed to be sorted out. It seems to be a much happier place backstage, unless you're Ricky Starks or the Lucha Bros. But now it's just stuff getting dragged up again. It's a shame anyway.
Fenix himself replied to this tweet from Dr. Chris Featherston saying, "So far, the most accurate comment."
So not the completely accurate, but the most accurate.
Yeah. But he can't, it seems like he's kind of watching what he says so far, but we'll apparently hear more about it once his contract's up as well.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if Penta says anything, because he's done now with AEW. Seems to be no, apart from obviously if he says anything libelous, any legal ramifications.
Do you think he's just keeping quiet so as not to jeopardize
Rey
somehow? I don't really understand, but we might find out more anyway. Over to WWE now, because on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez was talking about Bronson Reed. We saw, have you seen the slowed down Bronson Reed injury footage? He did the big splash off the top and his foot went,
the ankle snaps inwards, outwards, all the way aroundwards. Horrible scenes.
The x-rays bad, it looked broken in several places. And unsurprisingly, it seems as though that could lead to a bit of an absence from the ring.
Yeah, Brian Alvarez is saying, I'm pretty sure this is a pretty serious break. I was given the impression this was going to be a while, so I think 3 months would be pretty lucky from Dr. Brian Alvarez there. We saw at the start of SmackDown on Friday the three injuries that happened in the WarGames cage, or the men's WarGames cage match itself. Obviously, Bronson's ankle, indefinite. He had surgery. I think he's having surgery this week.
Okay.
Tangaloa, his bicep, he had surgery last week. And then Jimmy Uso, his big toe, is the one that broke as well. So sloppy shop WWE, unsafe work environment. They don't know what they're doing. They need to be trained. They're terrible wrestlers, all of them, right? I stand with AEW.
Oh my God. they just went all out, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were silly boys. It led to a great spectacle and everything, but oh my God, be careful as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's all right. Even Alvarez's estimate, they're saying that if he was back in 3 months, that'd be pretty lucky. Just haven't seen the injury. I think that would be anywhere close to 3 months would be amazing, looking at how nasty it seemed.
And he's a big boy, is Bronson. If you knew this.
Big
breaking news there. Big Bronson Reed is a big boy. So obviously, a big ankle break on a big boy is probably going to be a lot more severe than an ankle break on a little boy.
Hopefully, we are medical experts. Hopefully, he'll be all right going forward. But yes, now as you will know, probably WWE is going to move to Netflix very soon, and everyone, especially international markets where we still have the WWE Network instead of Peacock, we're wondering what's going to happen with the archive of all these wrestling shows. We might have a bit of a clue, at least in regards to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, WWE failed to try a trademark for Raw Vault for wrestling purposes this week. This comes after the announcement that everything's going to be taken off Peacock ahead of the new year, ahead of the big switch to Netflix, starting on January the 6th with Raw. So Raw Vault has been trademarked. We don't know what that actually means, where it's going to be like a subsection of Netflix, where it might be a standalone YouTube channel, because we have seen over the last 2 weeks especially more documentaries and historical pieces being uploaded to the actual WWE Vault YouTube channel. So could there be a second YouTube channel created there? We don't know.
No, there's various possibilities. I suppose this is hopeful news, but I'm still quite skeptical because I feel like whatever it's going to be, it's going to be hard to be as complete as the network was.
Yeah.
It's going to be a reduction of the archive, surely.
Just the way Netflix is laid out as well, you're going to have like a subsection for wrestling, or for WWE especially, then a subsection of that for Raw. And that's not really there, is it? Just in your standard categories of like, comedies, romantics.
It would feel weird on Netflix having this huge archive, yeah.
They're going to have to completely rejig Netflix from top to bottom just to accommodate
Just
the
for WWE, yeah.
And that's what they should do.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we can't lose the archive.
No, not at all. Now we're crossing the line back over to AEW, or more accurately to Ring of Honor, because Tony Khan was speaking to Sports Guys Talk and gave a bit of an update about Ring of Honor, which always seems to be in stasis, doesn't it? What's going on with Ring of Honor? But Tony's got an update.
Yeah, stay with this quote because there is some newsworthy stuff at the end. He said, "It's a great company. I love Ring of Honor. There's a great opportunity to grow Ring of Honor as we grow AEW. There's a lot of interest right now in Ring of Honor. I've had great conversations about TV partnerships with Ring of Honor." There's the headline.
That's the bit. Because the first part of that quote we were saying beforehand was kind of just Tony Khan's.
What do you expect him to say?
PR-friendly stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. We love Ring of Honor, blah, blah. But he's had great conversations about TV partnerships with Ring of Honor. Now, that could be, and I don't want to sound overly optimistic or anything, but that could at least be a big step in the right direction for the brand.
I mean, to me, that seemed why we put Chris Jericho as the Ring of Honor World Champion, just for that name recognition, going to TV broadcast partners, going, look at him!
That makes
sense.
It's
him, it's that guy from years ago.
Yes, they did it at the start of AEW as well, and it worked then. Yeah, could it work now? Yeah, probably.
People will still know who Chris Jericho is.
Yeah.
TV executives who don't watch AEW and don't know how Chris Jericho takes away TV time from more worthy people won't care about that. They'll just see Chris Jericho's name and think money.
Yeah, and it does. I didn't even think that there, but what you've said makes complete sense. A big recognisable name as the champion of this brand. I'd then be interested to see how long he'd keep the belt if they got a TV deal.
Forever.
Oh, just forevermore.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, that is very interesting. We'll have to see what happens there. And recently we saw, of course, the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. Lots of good matches. We were talking on the podcast about how it was lots of good matches, but the show itself maybe felt oddly paced. But it's one of those shows where you could go back and watch any of the matches in a vacuum and go, oh wow, that was a really good match. But one of the ones that everyone was talking about the most was the women's match between Mercedes Mone and Kris Statlander.
It's one of those matches as well where there was little hype in like the build, but the longer the match went on, the more you thought, my goodness me, we're seeing a bloody classic here.
They laid it out all on the line. I believe it's the longest women's match in AEW history as well.
What a stat.
It wasn't just good because it was long, it was good and long.
Yeah, what a Statlander.
But the other person in that match, Mercedes Mone, has been speaking about this in Mone Mag, which is her own newsletter.
Of course you'd have one of those.
She does, yeah. She's the CEO.
She says, wow, what an incredible night at AEW Full Gear. I'm still buzzing from the electrified atmosphere and the unforgettable matches that unfolded. But there's one moment that has etched itself into my heart and mind. The jaw-dropping showdown between me and Kris Statlander. It might just be my second favourite match of my entire career. Just the second.
I think that's a fair thing to say, though, because I mean, you know what her favourite match would be?
Brooklyn.
It would be the Brooklyn match against Bayley, yes. There's other great ones that she's had. My mind immediately went to the WrestleMania main event against Bianca Belair.
37.
On night one, yeah, that was a great match as well.
Whoopah with the hair.
Yes, Whoopah. The great match, the rematch against Bayley was a great one as well, the Iron Woman match.
Yes.
Maybe not as good as the first one. But she's had a lot of good ones. But I think she's right, even if she's saying it in a bit of an arrogant way. She's a heel, she's allowed to.
Yeah.
I think it was one of her best matches against Kris Statlander.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Yeah,
the longer it went on, the better it got.
There was an F5?
There was an F5.
Why did they do the F5?
Why not?
It was a big moment.
No one in wrestling uses it now.
No, that's very true.
Apart from Zarya, of course, NXT fame.
Yes. But let us know what your favourite Mercedes Mone matches are in the comments section. Or Kris Statlander matches as well.
Or Zarya.
Or Zarya as well. Mine would be the women's Iron Survivor. I've still not watched it yet. I
need to get on board.
I've seen people saying the women's one was actually the best match of the night.
Yes.
Ah, really?
Without doubt.
It was the main event, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in that comment section down below, and stay tuned and up to date with all the wrestling news, both on this channel and at cultaholic.com as well. This week we will be recording, although it won't be going out for a while I suppose, but we will be recording 9 pitches for wrestling in 2025.
Holistic approach to wrestling.
Yes.
We'll fix the business.
We're gonna. You watch. It'll be me, Ross and Andrew, and we'll be setting everything right. Look out for that and loads more excellent Christmas content as well over the festive period. Thank you very much once again for watching. I've been Jack. This has been Ross, and we'll see you very soon.